Okay, Alex. Good morning, everybody. We're going to sing for our prelude song, God Is I Am. So please join in. God is in everything I see. God is wherever I may be. God is the life in you and me. God is I am. God is in everything I see. God is wherever I may be. God is the life in you and me. God is I am. God is in everything I see. God is wherever I may be. God is the life in you and me. God is I am. God is I am. God is I am.
I am. So let's just take a moment just for a time in silence to bring ourselves fully into this space. And we affirm together our opening statement together. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Let's affirm that again. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Well, welcome everyone on this interesting spring morning. So I think we get little teasers of spring, and then we have these days as well, but it's all beautiful, isn't it? We're seeing the plants beginning to spring up, so we have hope. We know that it's coming soon, and we are so grateful. Again, it is a joy to welcome all of you here this morning, no matter whom you are, no matter where you come from, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey, no matter who you love, you are welcome here. And please know that this is a place that affirms you as the child of God, the beloved child of God that you are in truth. Again, thank you for being here. And if you're joining us this morning on live stream, we thank you for being here with us. Even though you're not here with us in the room, we know that we are connected heart to heart and soul to soul. So thank you, all of you, for being here. Let's stand and sing.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first fresh from the Word. Sweet the rains new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Breeze for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
We're going to send our children off to the classroom this morning, and Miss Sally and Miss Ann will be with you today. Thank you for being here. We're so glad all these wonderful children are here with us today. I love Zoe's shirt. I love Zoe's shirt. It's so cute. Sparkly. Yes. Yes. So let's send them off by singing "We Are Walking in the Light" together. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. Oh my good is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Oh my good is everywhere, manifesting now. Over here, over there, within, without, everywhere. Thank you, God, for my good, manifesting now.
Good morning, everyone. I am so glad to be here. You know, I travel around lately, and it's coming home and grounding me. I love being here. So my name's Laura. I'm a longtime member, and I have several announcements. We're moving into a new month, so there's a lot of activity going on here. If you are a guest here at UCR today, I hope that you've already picked up an information packet. If not, we have them in the foyer at the welcome table, and we thank you for joining us and hope that you'll come back. Learn how you can support the LGBTQAI community as we welcome Corey Jacobson, the board president of CCR Pride today after the service in the community room. Corey will update us on recent legislative actions that affect our LGBTQAI plus siblings and will share ways that we can be an effective ally. The Earth Care team is supporting the Moore Foundation by collecting gently used athletic shoes, sneakers, running, walking shoes, all of that. Their reforestation program in Ghana is 100% funded by reselling these shoes in Africa. Seeds and saplings are planted on school grounds where students are taught to farm trees. A bin is available in the foyer for your donated shoes. You can bring your donations in for the 6th annual garage sale during office hours this week. Bring your things in before May 4th. Again, that's this week already. And the sale is next weekend, May 6th and 7th. We also need volunteers. So sign up at the welcome table, or you can scan the QR code. Next page. Down in the corner there. You can scan the QR code on the screen, and that will direct you to a site where you can sign up. Also, next Saturday, join the Community Creates group from 8 to 3 in the Sacred Grounds and Books area. Come for any or all of the day. The group will be working on bookmarks and cards for the summer sale and also painting kindness rocks for the prayer garden. All the supplies are furnished, and so you can shop at the garage sale and then come over and join the creative fun. The Youth and Family Ministry is hosting a Mother's Day tea on Sunday, May 14th, after the service. It's for our youth and their moms or other nurturing adults. Finger sandwiches, scones, small desserts, and of course, tea will be served. This event is for our YFM families and volunteers only, and we ask that you sign up at the welcome table. 2 more. The Interior Decor Ministry team is meeting today after the service in the strong room. The special events team met earlier this morning. So we thank you all for your participation in these ministries and your service to UCR. Finally, if you have a prayer concern today, our prayer partner is Barb Buchanan. There she is. And she's one of our licensed Unity leaders, and she will be honored to pray with you in the prayer room. And for those of you who don't know, the prayer room is off here to my right, your left. Barb is also our Sunday assistant. If you have any questions, she'd be happy to help you. All right, now please join me in our statement of purpose. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We gather to create an experience of spirit. At Unity CR, we offer practical teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. Meeting you right where you are, we endeavor to provide a variety of ways to support your path of spiritual living. Our mission is to provide spiritual awareness and share the wonder and joy of God's love. And now for the daily word. The Bible verse comes from Psalm 144, verse 15. Happy are the people to whom such blessings fall. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. The affirmation is, I pause to appreciate life's simplest blessings. Today, I give thanks for the simplest blessings, the small things that bring a smile to my lips and a warm feeling to my heart. A hug from a friend, a cuddle from a grandchild, or stroking the soft fur of a beloved pet fills my awareness with love. The sudden lift I get seeing a favorite person's handwriting in the mail, or the thrill of spotting a rainbow after a cleansing rain shower spark lasting happiness in my heart. These things and more remind me that true contentment is found in life's smallest moments, the everyday treasures that comprise daily life and draw me close to God. I focus on these simple blessings and grow in gratitude for my life's many gifts. Again, from Psalm 144, verse 15, happy are the people to whom such blessings fall. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord.
Let's all stand and we'll sing our hymn, We Come Together. Look at those guys. They're so cute. So this is one of those songs that starts really slow and then speeds up as we go along. So the first time through, we're just going to sing it like a dirge a little bit. And then we'll speed up, and then there'll be a little clarinet solo in the middle. Here's how it goes. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our voices. Lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace, see God in every face. here we go. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our voices, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace, see God in every face. You can clap if you want to. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of life. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our voices, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace, see God in every face. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace, there is hope, there is faith, there is love.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is hope, and there is love. And stillness is more than just sitting in the quietness. It is a state of being in which we connect to this infinite presence that lives in us, through us, as us. It isn't necessarily the absence of doing, but it is the presence of being. And so as we take these few moments just to be still and know, as the psalmist reminds us, to be still and know that God is God in us. Today we commit to affirm that which is the truth of us. Not only that which is the truth of us, but that which is the truth about and of and as God. That God is, as 1 John reminds us, love. God is love. And we are created in the image and after the likeness of love. And as we love God, self, others, creation, we are living into and as that perfect image in us. For God is love, and we are love. And so we anchor ourselves in that truth, setting aside all the ways that we have spoken mistruths about ourselves, others, our world. And in so doing, we make a way for that still small voice to speak within us, to guide us, to lead us, to heal us, to transform us, to remind us that we are here to love. And so as we rest now in silence and quietness, in the stillness of this moment, we find and know and express peace and love. Be still and know. Be still and know that God is God in you. God of love, God that is love, creator, sustainer, infinite presence, healer. We are so grateful for this time in which we have remembered that indeed we are created in your image and after your likeness, and that we are here to love. And to speak the truth about ourselves and our world. That indeed there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God the good. God, divine love. And as we now begin to bring our attention back to this time and to this place, we send our blessing to the person to the left of us, the person to the right of us, the person in front of us and behind us, and we send our blessing into our community and our world. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is, and so it shall ever be. Amen. It's beautiful. That congregational sing, there's a little klezmer music vibe there. I love that. If you don't know about klezmer music, look it up. You'll enjoy it. It's just wonderful to have you. Nina, thank you. Thank you so much. When I lived in Macon, Georgia, we met a lot of wonderful people there, and one of my favorite was a man I worked with. His name was Joel Kitchens. And Joel had grown up in the church that I served. As you know, I was an executive pastor in a Methodist church before coming here. And so he had been baptized as a baby. His parents were married in that church. The church was probably 120, 30 years old, probably more than that now. And I just love Joel. And Joel was in his 80s, and he was in charge of coordinating the breakfast that I've shared so much with you about. We would feed 100 to 150 every Sunday morning, folks from all walks of life, homeless, the addicted, the transient, the mayor, clergy. It was just wonderful that everyone would just come around the table together. And Joel's responsibility was to order the groceries for that event and make sure that all the volunteers were in place. So on Friday, he would send out an email to everyone that would list who the volunteers were. We would have other churches in town come and cook, and people from all over Macon who would be on volunteer teams. But he would always include this in his email, what National Day Sunday was. Now, you may not know this. I may be bringing you some breaking news today, but April 30th is Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Day. So we have oatmeal raisin cookies for us today after service in the bookstore in Sacred Grounds and Books. But it's also Raisin Day, so I have a sense that the people at Sunkist or Sunmade, whoever does raisins, has something to do with Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Day. And Joel loved Willie Nelson, his church, and his work with the breakfast community, probably in that order. He loved Willie Nelson. So when I think about these national days, I think about my friend Joel. But today is also National Honesty Day. And so that is the basis of the lesson today. And it was created back, I think, in the 90s, and it by the man by the name of Hirsch Goldberg, and he wrote a book about honesty and truth-telling. And the reason he, and Tom Bootsmiller and I were just discussing with the tech team, how does anybody decide which these national days? Do we just sort of make it up? I kind of think we do. But the reason that Mr. Goldberg decided that we needed a National Honesty Day on the last day of April is because what happens on the first day of April? April Fool's Day is a celebration of lie-telling. Well, we need to balance that out with a celebration of truth-telling. Now, the worst thing that you can call a Southerner, as you know, I grew up in Tennessee, is a liar. And so we have all kinds of ways to talk about telling lies without calling somebody a liar. You and the truth aren't related. I love that one. Your story doesn't track with the facts. You got your facts tangled. That's a good one. And my favorite, that dog won't hunt. But we seem to have lost our aversion to calling people liars these days. Our politicians call one another liars in their work. In the highest moments of solemnity within our government, somehow we've gotten past that inhibition of calling one another liars. And I think that it comes from this polarization that we find ourselves in at this moment, where we are right and you are wrong. But there's a better way. There is a better way. And if you guys would put the next slide up. I think we're having a little technical difficulty today, so bear with us. But Lisa's back there. She's on the case, so that's good. I love this quote from Rumi. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I will meet you there. I love that. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I'll meet you there. You see, there is another way. It doesn't have to be either or, right or wrong. There is a better way. And the better way is telling the truth. And I'm not talking about your political truth so much as I'm talking about the truth that we tell about ourselves and about one another. To tell the truth about who we are, that we are each and every one of us beloved children of God in whom God is most well pleased, that we are created in the image and after the likeness of God, as I shared last week with you. To tell the truth by seeing the beauty in one another. There's a Buddhist chant that shares, hatred never ceases by hatred, but love alone is healed. So this polarity, this polarization that we find ourselves in the midst of, I think arises out of our failure to tell the truth about ourselves and about one another and about God. There's a story in Jewish tradition of a little boy playing hide and seek with his friends. And for some unknown reason why, his friends decided to just stop playing while this little boy was hiding. And he began to cry. But his grandfather came out of the house to see what was troubling him. And after learning what had happened, the grandfather said, "Do not weep, my child, because the boys did not come to find you. Perhaps you will learn a lesson from your disappointment. All of life is a game between God and us. Only it is God who is weeping, for we are not playing the game fairly. God is waiting to be found, but we have gone in search of other things." You know, God is lost. God is here within us. God is in this space with us today because you are here. God is that energy, that life, and that power that pervades all creation. As the Apostle Paul says, God is in all, through all. That's the truth. And sometimes we tell lies about God by creating this separation between us, or a God that has camps. And you have to be in the right camp if you are right with God. Don shared with me yesterday some work that I just love this man. I listened to some of it yesterday, Dr. Daniel Black. He is the professor of African American Studies at Clark Atlanta University. And he's an essayist and an author, and he does podcasts, and he has a YouTube channel, so check him out, Dr. Daniel Black. I posted something by him on my Facebook feed yesterday. And he wrote this in an essay called Why I Write. He says, "We keep looking for God when we are looking at God. We keep looking for God when we are looking at God." And this quote is so poignant, but so true, particularly in this moment in which we find ourselves now. We have thrown away those who could have saved us. And so we find ourselves in a moment in history in our country where we are throwing away people because of who they love, because of how they express, because of how they identify, because of who they are in truth. Jesus shares a beautiful parable about this. And I do a lesson on this parable, the Good Samaritan, every year. So I'm into my 4th year, so this is probably my 4th telling of it to you so far. And it comes from the Gospel of Luke. Just then a lawyer stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And he said to him, Jesus says to the lawyer, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" And the lawyer answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And Jesus said, "You have given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." Now, the lawyer wanted to catch Jesus up a little bit. He wanted to justify himself. He wanted to have a volley of legal discourse with Jesus. But Jesus didn't bite. and he begins to tell a story. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. But by chance a priest was going down the road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, "Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay you whatever more you spend." Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? And the lawyer said, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise." That's a beautiful story, isn't it? And so often we want to make the Good Samaritan the central character in the story. But the Gospel of Luke is one, this parable only occurs in the Gospel of Luke. And Luke is the gospel that sets things on their ears, is that which subverts the way we think about things. And Luke is doing that here in this parable, this account of the story told by Jesus. Because again, we want to squarely put the Good Samaritan as the central character of the story, but we can read it differently when we shift it and we make the man who was robbed the central character of the story. And not only is the central character of the story the man who was robbed, but Jesus places the lawyer in the story, and the lawyer is the man who was beaten and robbed. The lawyer asked Jesus, "Who is my neighbor?" And of course, the lawyer says, "Those who..." He is thinking, just as we might today, those who vote like me, those who think like me, those who look like me, those who love like me, those who have the same religious and spiritual beliefs that I do. And again, Jesus didn't answer him directly, but puts the lawyer squarely into the story as the man who was beaten and robbed. You see, this lawyer, this person who was testing Jesus, trying to justify his own rationale, his own biases, his own beliefs, needed to be put in the story as that vulnerable person in order to be teachable. We are told that 3 people came upon him and only the Samaritan helped him. The first 2 were the priest and the Levite. They were symbols of his religion, of his current spiritual beliefs and precepts and practices, but they passed him by because they could not help him. They could not help him. And so along comes a Samaritan, a person in the culture who is despised, outcast, because they've intermarried with others outside their culture, their ethnicity. They were outcasts. And so the man in the ditch who was robbed and beaten is lifted up, is ministered to by this outcast. And so Jesus here is attempting to show him how often our teachers come to us, how often the very people that we shun, that we outcast, are the very ones that have the most to teach us, where our greatest healing may come from. And it doesn't have to be something outside of yourself either. It could be those aspects of our own being that we shove aside, that we don't want to look at. Those are the very things that, as we are vulnerable and open, we find our greatest healing within them. As Dr. Black reminds us, we have thrown away the very ones that could save us. We are here today with an opportunity to love. 1 John 4 says, God is love. And we are created in the image and after the likeness of love. And so it's time for us to stop telling lies, to stop telling lies about ourselves, to begin to affirm the truth about our own being, but to stop lying about others as well, and to behold the truth of their being, that they are indeed the face of God, and to stop lying about God, that God is a God of hatred and division. We are spiritual beings finding creative, holy expression in this human experience, and that is so powerful, and it is so transformative. We are here to love and to celebrate ourselves, to celebrate others in this myriad of expressions, to be honest and truthful about the power of our being and to hold that truth for others as well, no matter the rainbow of expressions that they demonstrate, to love. The poet Walt Whitman wrote in Song of Myself, I celebrate and I sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. We celebrate, we sing ourselves. What is true for me is true for others. The word celebrate means to honor the magnificence of our being, to honor that we are all marvelous and magnificent creations of God, that we are of inestimable worth. There is no one else like us. There will never be anyone else like us, because we are a myriad of expressions. We lack nothing. We are enough. We are to be celebrated, and we are to listen to those teachers, to be open and vulnerable, to allow ourselves to be taught by those who might be outcasts in our culture, in our society, but also to listen to those outcast parts of our own being as well. And so on this National Honesty Day, we make that commitment to no more lies, telling the truth about yourself and about all creation. God bless you.
Will our ushers please come forward with our baskets? Thank you, Polly and Cindy, for helping today. We bless these baskets and the abundance they will soon receive. We see them as symbols of the potential available to all of us. As we participate in the sacred act of giving and receiving, we remember the words of Charles Fillmore. Spirit gives abundantly. We receive thankfully and give again generously. Join me in our offertory statement now. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
And we trust and know that all is well. And we dedicate and we consecrate these tithes, these gifts and offerings to the will and the work and the way of the Christ as it expresses through this ministry of love and service. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Now let's stand and join together in singing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect unity. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. And truly all is well. God bless you. Join us for Corey Jacobson in the Community Center.
We're not going to do this slow. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our voices, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace, see God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our voices, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace, see God in every face. The power of love, the power of light, we come together to behold.